My beloved child, I see the pain you're going through, and I understand it feels overwhelming. But I want you to know that I never waste pain. Every tear you've shed, every heartbreak, and every struggle is not in vain. I am turning your pain into a beautiful purpose, even when you cannot see it right now. You wonder why you must go through such trials, but trust me, there is a purpose behind it. I am molding you, refining you, and preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. Just as gold is refined in the fire to remove impurities, so too are you being refined through this season of pain. It's hard to see while you're in it, but I am working behind the work at the end, shaping you into the person I have called you to be. You are not alone in this. Remember, all things work together for good for those who love me and are called according to my purpose, Romans 8:28. I allow certain things to happen in your life, not to harm you, but to build you up, to strengthen you, and to align you with the destiny I have prepared for you. This pain you feel now is producing perseverance, character, and hope within you. There will come a time when you will look back and see how I have been at work all along. You'll see how I used what was meant to harm you to bring about something good. You'll understand that the very thing you thought would break you was what I used to make you. Every bit of pain will serve a purpose, and I am weaving it into the beautiful tapestry of your life. My dear child, don't be afraid of the pain, for I am with you through it all. Trust in me, even when the path ahead seems unclear. But I am turning your pain into purpose, and I will bring you to a place of restoration, healing, and joy. The hurt you feel today will lead to the joy you'll experience tomorrow. Your story isn't over. It's just beginning, and I promise you, it will be a story of redemption and purpose. To my beloved child, in your moments of deepest pain and struggle, know this: I am right there with you. Even when you feel isolated, when the weight of the world presses heavily on your shoulders, I have not left your side. You may not always feel my presence, but I promise you, I am closer to you now than ever before. When you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, do not fear evil, Psalm 23:4. So my rod and my staff are there to comfort you. Yes, the path may be dark, but I am the light that guides you through it. Just as I was with David in his trials, I am with you. I will never leave you, nor forsake you, my precious child. Think of the trials faced by my faithful servant, Daniel. When he was thrown into the lion's den, it seemed like his fate was sealed. But I was there with him, shutting the mouths of the lions, Daniel 6:22. Just as I protected Daniel in his moment of greatest fear, so too will I protect and carry you in your darkest moments. You see, my child, I have walked with my people through their trials since the beginning of time. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. Isaiah 43:2. This is my promise to you. No matter how deep the pain, no matter how hot the fire, I am right there carrying you through it. Remember Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were thrown into the blazing furnace for refusing to bow down to an idol, but I was with them in the fire. Not a hair on their heads was singed, and they walked out unscathed, because my presence was with them. Daniel 3:20-27. Likewise, I am walking with you through the flames of your trial. I am the fourth man in the fire, the one who shields and sustains you. You may wonder why I allow pain to enter your life, and I understand that. Pain is not something I desire for you, my child, but it is something I use. I use it to shape you, to refine you, and to draw you closer to me. Every tear you cry, I catch. Every heartache you feel, I feel it too. I am not a distant God watching from afar. I am your loving Father, right there in the thick of it with you, holding you, comforting you, and whispering my love over you. In the midst of your pain, you must remember my promises. I am working all things together for your good. Romans 8:28. This pain is not purposeless. It is not wasted. I am using it to accomplish something beautiful in your life, something you cannot yet see. But trust me, it is coming. Like the sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, I am shaping you into the masterpiece you were created to be. And though the chiseling may hurt, it is necessary to reveal the beauty within. My dear child, I want you to know that it is in your weakness that my strength is made perfect. 2 Corinthians 12:9. When you feel like you can't go on, when the pain feels too heavy to bear, lean on me. Let my strength carry you. I will give you rest. I will renew your strength, and you will rise on wings like eagles. Isaiah 40:31. But you are not walking this road alone. I am walking it with you, and I will carry you when you feel too weak to take another step. Just as I was with Paul in his times of suffering, I am with you. Paul faced hardship after hardship, but he learned to trust in my grace. He understood that my grace was sufficient for him, and it is sufficient for you too. No matter what you are going through, my grace will carry you through it. There is nothing you will face that is too difficult for me. I am the creator of the heavens and the earth, the one who spoke the stars into existence, and yet I care about every detail of your life. I see your pain, and I am working to turn it into something beautiful. What the enemy meant for harm, I will use for good. Genesis 50:20. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and understand how I was working all along. You are my beloved child, and I am with you. Even in the darkness, my light is shining. I am the God who walks with you through the storm, the fire, and the flood. And I will bring you out the other side stronger, more refined, and more like me. This is my promise to you. My child, do not lose heart. Do not give up. I am with you every step of the way, and I will never let you go. You are mine, and I will carry you through this pain to the purpose I have for you. Trust in me, for I am your loving Father, and I am always with you. My beloved child, I am with you even in the midst of your pain. And know that it's difficult for you to understand right now, but the very pain you are feeling is not without purpose. So I am using it to transform you, to mold you into who I have called you to be. Pain, as hard as it is one of my greatest tools for shaping your heart, your character, and your faith. Think of Joseph, my faithful servant. He experienced betrayal, isolation, and injustice when his own brothers sold him into slavery. His journey was filled with pain, from being falsely accused to being thrown into prison, seemingly forgotten. But I was with him all along, using each moment of suffering to prepare him for the incredible purpose I had for his life. What others meant for evil, I used for good. Genesis 50:20. Joseph's pain was the pathway to the position I had destined him for, feed through famine and saving countless lives. I know it's not easy, but like Joseph, I am taking you through a process. It is through this process that you will emerge with a strength and a wisdom you did not have before. You see, pain refines. Just as fire refines gold, I use the trials in your life to refine your faith, to purify your heart, and to prepare you for greater things. You may not see it now, but in time you will understand how I was using this season to develop something within you that cannot be achieved any other way. Look at my servant Job, a man of great faith and integrity. Job suffered deeply. He lost his family, his wealth, and his health. In his pain, he cried out to me, and even though he could not understand why he was suffering, he never turned away from me. In the end, Job's faith was rewarded. I restored everything to him, and more. Job 42:10. Job's story is a reminder that while pain may seem overwhelming, it is not the end. I am the God of restoration, and I will restore to you what was lost. just as I did for Job. Trust in me, my child, for I see the bigger picture that you cannot yet see. The Apostle Paul also knew great pain, physical, emotional, and spiritual. He faced persecution, imprisonment, and hardships beyond measure. Yet, in the midst of his suffering, he understood that my grace was sufficient for him. 2 Corinthians 12:9. He learned that when he was weak, my strength was made perfect in him. Paul's suffering drew him closer to me and a more powerful vessel for my purposes. Just as I was with Joseph, Job, and Paul, I am with you. I am not distant or detached from your pain. I am walking with you through it, and I am using it to transform you into the person I created you to be. The pain is not in vain, my child. It is the process through which I am bringing you to a greater purpose. The transformation I am working in you may not happen overnight, but I ask you to trust me. I ask you to embrace this process, knowing that I am faithful to complete the good work I have begun in you. Philippians 1:6. You are being shaped for something far greater than you can imagine, and this pain is a part of that shaping. Let me use it to strengthen you, to deepen your faith, and to prepare you for the future I have planned for you. In the same way that a seed must first be buried in the dark soil before it can grow, so too must you walk through this dark season before you can blossom into the fullness of what I have called you to be. You may not understand it now, but I promise you that your pain has purpose. Trust in me, my child, for I am working all things together for your good. Romans 8:28. So hold on. Stay close to me. I am with you, and I will never leave you. This pain will not last forever, but the transformation it brings will. I am turning your pain into purpose, and the joy that is coming will far outweigh the suffering of this present moment. Romans 8:18. You are my masterpiece, and I am using even this season of pain to create something beautiful in you. My beloved child, I know the pain you've experienced. The wounds you carry are not unnoticed by me, and I want to assure you that I am turning those very wounds into wisdom. You see, the hardships you faced are not in vain. They are being transformed into markers of my faithfulness and grace in your life. And every scar you bear is a testament to my sustaining power and a reminder that you made it through. Those deep wounds that once seemed unbearable are now the very places where I am growing you, strengthening you, and giving you wisdom that can only come from walking through the fire. Remember what my servant James wrote. Consider it pure joy when you face trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1:2-3. I am using those trials to equip you with a wisdom that will guide you not only in your own journey, but also in helping others who walk a similar path. Think about Joseph once more. The very pit his brothers threw him into, and he was falsely accused, became the stepping stones to the palace. It was through his pain that I equipped him with the wisdom and strength to lead a nation through a time of crisis. His scars became the source of his strength, and his wisdom was birthed in the suffering he endured. Your wounds, too, will become a wellspring of wisdom. They will remind you of how far I brought you and how much you've grown. Those scars will give you a depth of understanding and a compassion for others that could only be developed through your own experiences. As you reflect on your journey, you will begin to see how each hardship taught you something valuable: patience, resilience, faith, and endurance. These lessons are treasures I am imparting to you, treasures that will serve you for the rest of your life. Just as I was with Joseph, I am with you. I did not abandon you in the midst of your suffering, and I will not abandon you now. What you see as brokenness, I see as an opportunity to show my glory in your life. I am binding up your wounds and turning them into wisdom that will help you navigate the future, wisdom that will guide others, and wisdom that will remind you of my faithfulness every step of the way. Look at Paul, my servant, who endured much suffering. Through his trials, I gave him a wisdom that led to some of the most profound revelations of my grace and power. He learned that my strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. It was through his pain that Paul gained the wisdom to encourage others, to write letters that would inspire generations, and to testify of my goodness even in the face of great adversity. So, my child, do not despise your wounds. Do not see them as signs of defeat, but as symbols of my grace and growth in your life. I am the one who can turn even the deepest pain into a source of wisdom and strength. Every scar tells a story of my faithfulness to you, a story of how I have brought you through. Trust that I am turning your pain into purpose and your wounds into wisdom. You are stronger, wiser, and more equipped because of what you've been through, and I am proud of the way you've endured. Hold on to this truth, my beloved. I am always with you, guiding you through every trial, every wound, and every challenge. Together, we are turning your wounds into wisdom. My beloved child, I see the weight that is pressed upon your heart. I know that the desire to give up may feel overwhelming at times, and discouragement knocks persistently at your door. But know this: I am with you, even when you can't see the way forward. When the road is rough and your strength feels spent, it is easy to question whether the struggle is worth it. You may feel as though the pain is too much, the trials too heavy, and the purpose too distant. But my dear one, do not let these moments of discouragement make you lose sight of the greater picture. James 1:2-4 reminds you, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. You see, my child, the challenges you face are not designed to break you. They are shaping you into who I've called you to be. It is through perseverance that you will become whole, mature, and equipped for the purposes I have prepared for you. I understand how discouragement can cloud your vision and make you question everything. But remember, even in your darkest hours, I am working all things together for your good. Romans 8:28. When the path seems unclear and hope appears distant, hold on to the promise that I am using every trial to mold and refine you. This is not the end, it is a refining process, and you will come out stronger on the other side. Consider Job, my faithful servant. He endured immense suffering, more than most could bear. Yet he did not give up. Even in his lowest moments, when everything was stripped away, he held on to faith, even when he couldn't understand what I was doing. And in the end, I restored him, and his latter days were far more blessed than the beginning. Likewise, my child, do not give up. Your story is not over. I am still working, and what I have planned for you will be far greater than you can imagine. When the burden seems too heavy, that is when I am closest to you. Remember my promise: come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. I am your source of strength, and I am here to carry you through. I know you long for an immediate end to your pain, but there is beauty in perseverance. There is strength being forged in the fire of your trials, and as you persevere, you are becoming more like my son, who also endured suffering but emerged victorious. When you feel like giving up, remember the victory that awaits you. Just as Jesus overcame, so too will you. My beloved, do not give in to hopelessness. Hold on. Persevere. Trust in me, for I am with you, and I will never leave you nor forsake you. The darkest nights often produce the brightest mornings, and your dawn is coming. Keep going, and you will see the fulfillment of my promises. My beloved child, I know that in the midst of your pain, it can be hard to see beyond your current circumstances. The weight of your trials may feel suffocating, and it might seem like there's no end in sight. But I want you to remember this. Your pain is part of a bigger picture, one that I, your Father, am carefully crafting for your good and my glory. When you're in the valley, it's easy to feel lost, to question why you're facing such hardships. But I see the end from the beginning, and I have a plan that goes far beyond what you can imagine. The very things that bring you heartache are often the tools I use to shape you into who I created you to be. Though the process may be painful, know that I am with you every step of the way. Let me remind you of the story of Joseph, my servant. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. For many years, it must have seemed like his life was falling apart, that everything he knew was being ripped away. But in those dark moments, I was weaving together a story far greater than he could have ever imagined. What his brothers intended for harm, I used for good. Genesis 50:20. I elevated Joseph from the pit of despair to a position of great authority in Egypt, where he became a vessel of blessing to many, including the very brothers who betrayed him. Do you see, my child? Even when you feel abandoned or forgotten, I am working behind the scenes. Every challenge, every hardship, every moment of suffering is part of a grander story that I am writing for your life. Just as I had a plan for Joseph, I have a plan for you, and that plan is good. You may not always understand my ways, and that's okay. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. Isaiah 55:8-9. I see the entirety of your journey from the beginning to the end. I see the chapters that are yet to unfold, the victories that are still ahead. While you may only see the pain of today, I see the triumph of tomorrow. I want you to trust in my bigger picture, even when it doesn't make sense. Trust that I am not a distant observer, but an ever-present help in your time of need. Psalm 46:1. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. When you pass through the waters, they will not sweep over you. Isaiah 43:2. I am with you in every moment, and I am working all things together for your good. Romans 8:28. I look at the life of Job. He lost everything, his wealth, his health, his family, and yet he remained faithful. Even in his darkest moments, Job did not turn away from me. He wrestled with deep questions, just as you might be doing now. But in the end, he recognized that I am sovereign, that I hold all things in my hands. And because of his faithfulness, I restored everything to him, twice over. Job 42:10. My child, I am the same God who restored Job. I am the God of restoration and redemption. The pain you are enduring now is not the end of your story. It's simply a chapter in a much greater narrative. I know that it's hard to see the bigger picture when you're in the midst of the storm, but I am asking you to trust me. Trust that I have a purpose for your pain, that nothing you are going through is in vain. Your trials are not wasted. They are shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for what is to come. Think about the refining process of gold. It must pass through the fire in order to be purified, to have all impurities removed. In the same way, you are being refined in the furnace of affliction. But when you come out of this season, you will be like gold, pure and strong, reflecting my glory. It's easy to become discouraged when the pain seems relentless. But remember, I am the God who turns mourning into dancing. Psalm 30:11. I am the God who brings beauty from ashes. Isaiah 61:3. Whatever you have lost, whatever has been broken, I will restore. Trust me to take the shattered pieces of your life and create something beautiful. I also want you to know that your pain is not only for your own growth. I will use your story to impact others, to bring hope to those who are walking through similar valleys. Just as I comfort you in your distress, I will equip you to comfort others. 2 Corinthians 1:3-4. Your pain is part of a greater purpose, a purpose that reaches beyond your own life. You are being prepared to be a vessel of my grace, and love to a world that is hurting. My child, do not lose heart. Though outwardly you may feel like you are wasting away, inwardly you are being renewed day by day. These momentary troubles are achieving for you an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. 2 Corinthians 4:16-17. Keep your eyes fixed on me, not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. The road ahead may not be easy, but I promise you this: I will be with you every step of the way. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:8. When the pain feels unbearable, lean into me. I am your refuge and strength, an ever-present help in times of trouble. Psalm 46:1. I am your strong tower, your shelter from the storm. Proverbs 18:10. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, my child. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Cast your cares upon me, for I care for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Let me carry you through this season of pain, for I am the good shepherd who leads beside still waters and restores your soul. Psalm 23:2-3. As you continue to walk this path, remember that I am writing a story for your life, and it is a story of redemption, restoration, and victory. Trust that I am turning your pain into purpose. Trust that I am working all things together for your good, and trust that the best is yet to come. As you emerge from this season of pain, I want you to know that your new chapter is beginning. I have a purpose for your life, and it is time to walk in that purpose with faith and boldness. This journey may seem daunting, especially after what you have endured, but remember, you are not alone. I am with you every step of the way. The first step in walking in your purpose is to embrace your identity as my beloved child. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, created with unique gifts and talents designed for my glory. Understand that your past pain does not define you, rather it refines you. The scars you carry are not signs of defeat, but markers of my faithfulness in your life. You are a new creation in Christ, and it is time to step into the fullness of who you are in me. As you begin this new chapter, seek my guidance through prayer. Communicate openly with me about your desires, fears, and dreams. I desire to hear your heart and guide you in the path I have prepared for you. Pray for clarity and direction, and be open to the leading of my Spirit. Plus, remember that I will never steer you wrong. My plans for you are good, filled with hope and a future. Walking in purpose requires faith. Trust that I have equipped you with everything you need to fulfill the calling I have placed on your life. Just as Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water, I invite you to take that leap of faith. It may feel scary, but I promise that I will catch you if you falter. Each step you take toward your purpose is an act of faith that will strengthen you and deepen your trust in me. As you seek to embrace your new purpose, it is important to set goals that align with my calling for your life. What are the desires of your heart? What passions have I placed within you? Write them down and break them into actionable steps. Whether it's pursuing a new career, starting a ministry, or building relationships, take practical steps toward these goals. And remember, I am the one who empowers you to accomplish what I have set before you. You were not meant to walk this journey alone. Surround yourself with a community of believers who can support, encourage, and challenge you. Find mentors who have walked similar paths and can provide wisdom and guidance. Share your journey with trusted friends who will pray for you and hold you accountable. Together you can uplift one another and walk boldly in the purposes I have for each of you. Walking in purpose requires a continual deepening of your relationship with me. Spend time in my word, allowing my truth to transform you. Engage in worship and praise, for it is in these moments that you will find strength and encouragement. The more you draw near to me, the clearer your path will become. Remember, I am the vine, and you are the branches. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Lastly, trust the process. Your journey may not always look the way you expect, but trust that I am working behind the scenes for your good. There will be challenges and setbacks, but I promise that every experience will shape you and prepare you for what lies ahead. Keep your eyes fixed on me and do not lose heart. The beauty of your new chapter is found not just in the destination, but in the journey itself. As you embrace your new chapter, my beloved child, remember that I am the light in your darkness, the strength in your weakness, and the purpose behind your pain. Your story is not over, it is just beginning. Step boldly into the future I have for you, and watch as I turn every moment into a testimony of my goodness and grace. As you reflect on your journey, I want to remind you that I am the ultimate author of your story. Each chapter, even the painful ones, plays a crucial role in the beautiful narrative I am crafting in your life. You may not always understand why certain things happen, but rest assured that every experience, every tear, and every moment of suffering has a purpose when surrendered to me. When you allow me to take control of your story, I promise to transform your pain into powerful purpose. Just as I turned the trials of Joseph into a platform for saving nations, I will turn your struggles into testimonies of hope and restoration. Your story is being written with love, and it is unique to you. No one else can tell it like you will, for I have placed a distinct calling on your life. Remember the promise I made to you in Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. This verse is a beautiful reminder that I am continually working behind the scenes, weaving every thread of your life into a masterpiece that reflects my goodness and grace. As you move forward, embrace the hope that comes from knowing I am with you every step of the way. The painful chapters do not define you, they refine you, preparing you for the next great thing I have in store. Trust the process, lean on my promises, and have faith that I am using everything for your good and my glory. In the end, you will see how I have taken your pain and used it to shape you into the person I created you to be. Your story will not just be a tale of survival, but a testament to the power of faith, restoration, and divine purpose. Embrace this journey, beloved child, for I am writing a story that is not just good but extraordinary. Trust in me, and you will see that your future is bright, filled with hope and possibilities beyond what you can imagine. Your best days are ahead of you,